In medieval Europe, the Huns are advancing westward, spreading war and destruction. The kingdom of Burgundy struggles to survive, and the king must lead his army to secure the borders. Thick fog blankets the land, forcing the soldiers to proceed cautiously. One day, they arrive at a village reduced to ashes. Both people and animals lie dead. Suddenly, a horse passes by, revealing a hidden enemy soldier. The man shoots an arrow at the king and flees. Marshal Hogan rushes to save him, but it is too late. The king is dead. A funeral is held in the capital. Hogan is overwhelmed with guilt and recalls his childhood when he survived a beast attack with only a few scars. The late king had once taken him under his wing. While training, Princess Kriemhild reassures Hogan, telling him the king's death was not his fault and that he remains part of the family. With Prince Gunnar ascending the throne, an emergency council is held to address the kingdom surrounded by enemies. Desperate for allies, Gunnar decides his sister will marry the king of Lombard. Hogan delivers the news to Kriemhild, who accepts her duty reluctantly. That night, during a storm, 11 armed men camp near the gates. Hogan notices a shadowy figure whispering, "I know your scars," before vanishing. In the morning, the group enters the city and is surrounded. Kriemhild observes that one rider has the ability to change his face. Gunnar meets their leader and discovers he is Siegfried, Prince of Cosentin. Their fathers were once allies in past wars. To everyone's shock, Siegfried challenges Gunnar to a duel. Guards intervene and Siegfried agrees to stay as a guest. Kriemhild confides in Hogan, worrying the mysterious figure may be an ancient evil haunting dreams. That night, Hogan keeps watch. A cloaked figure walks through town. When Hogan confronts him, the figure collapses into a pile of bags. Meanwhile, Siegfried, heavily intoxicated, vomits in the street. Hogan urges him to leave the kingdom and returns to bed, haunted by nightmares of the cloaked figure surrounded by blood. The figure speaks of Hogan's scars, triggering memories of his parents' deaths during a dragon attack. The next morning, servants report dead horses and sightings of the cloaked figure in the stables. Hogan and Kriemhild chase the frightened horse into the forest. Kriemhild tries to calm it, but is injured. Hogan tends her wounds as she reveals her unhappiness about the impending marriage. Siegfried tells Gunnar that the Valkyrie queen, Brunhild, has summoned him in a dream, capable of influencing men across the world without meeting them. Though initially skeptical, Siegfried insists it is true. Later, he visits Kriemhild, praising her beauty, but she rebuffs him as a lost soul. Hogan advises Gunnar against the marriage. Trusting Hogan, Gunnar cancels the engagement and frees Kriemhild. The queen asks Hogan if he can sacrifice for the kingdom as well. Hogan continues training his soldiers while Siegfried practices in a chaotic street fight style. Hogan faces Siegfried in combat training and demonstrates his skill and discipline. Soon, news arrives that the Saxons and Danes have turned against Burgundy. Gunnar instructs Hogan to form an alliance with Siegfried despite his reservations. Hogan discovers mysterious ritual items on the ground and meets the cloaked figure who reveals himself as Albert. Albert explains that Siegfried killed a dragon alone, bathed in its blood, and became invulnerable, except for a small spot protected by a leaf. Alberic is forging a sword from the dragon's bones. In the chapel, Siegfried gives Gunnar a sword, pledging loyalty and violence for his cause. Hogan, wary of the alliance, watches as Gunnar accepts Siegfried. Kriemhild questions Hogan's protection, but he claims it is for the kingdom's sake. During the campaign, Hogan instructs the army while Siegfried leads daring attacks, killing the Saxon king and inspiring the troops. A brutal forest battle ensues. Hogan loses his left eye while protecting a young archer, and Siegfried fights without armor. Impressing Alberic treats Hogan and reveals the truth about his past. Hogan's kingdom was destroyed, and the dragon saved him, leaving scars. After the battle, Siegfried is celebrated by the people, while Kriemhild cares for Hogan. Siegfried and Kriemhild grow closer and eventually marry. Hogan continues to safeguard the kingdom, silently enduring his feelings. Gunnar and his army sail to Iceland to secure an alliance with Queen Brunhild. There, Gunnar must face the queen in combat. Through clever strategy, blood on the snow temporarily grants power, allowing Hogan and Siegfried to survive the ritual. Brunhild and her forces kneel, honoring their agreement. Back in Burgundy, much of the kingdom lies in ruins from the Huns. Through a double wedding, alliances are solidified. Brunhild and Siegfried marry, Hogan protects Grimhild, and the next great battle begins. Under Brunhild's leadership, the army triumphs and the Huns retreat. Weeks later, the kingdom begins rebuilding. Grimhild rejects Siegfried's proposal to flee, staying loyal to her land. Hogan shares a bittersweet moment with her, knowing they will never be together. Siegfried's popularity grows, yet Hogan ensures loyalty to Kriemhild and the kingdom is maintained. Strategy, war, and love remain at the story's heart until the end.